Now, probably due to the fact that I've been having some decent luck with some of these weekly paying dividend ETFs that offer a ton of cash flow from day one. Now, maybe because of that, I've decided to add yet another weekly paying dividend ETF to my roster, slowly making my portfolio a cash flowing machine that pays me more and more frequently. Now, the ETF that we're talking about for this video that I do plan on adding to my portfolio is going to be WPAY, or the Weekly Pay Universe ETF by Roundhill. I've talked about it a little bit in the past when it first came out, but they did just announce their most recent first distribution, which I want to talk about and explain to you guys what I see in this ETF, what I like about it and what I don't. So if you like weekly income like I do, if you're a dividend investor, definitely stick around, drop a like down below, and let's get right into it. My A to Z dividend investing ebook has already helped countless dividend investors get started with their journey. And my custom dividend tracker, the one I use all the time on my videos, has also helped so many investors stay organized and has actually helped them see their dividend income grow. Well, today I have something even better for you guys. When you click the first link down below in my description and you grab my A to Z dividend investing ebook, today you're not only going to get the ebook, but you're also going to be getting the custom dividend tracker, which you can use to track your own dividend income ongoingly, get direct access to my personal email where you guys can email me any questions regarding dividend investing. You're also going to receive a link to view all of my holdings inside my 7-figure dividend portfolio and see all the positions I add and take away ongoingly. And you're going to get for absolutely free my brand new high yield dividend investing ebook, where I show you the power of maximizing some of these high yielding ETFs and teach you everything there is to know about that also. This is going to be your one shot to grab everything inside of one single bundle, but you got to move quick because I'm not going to offer this for long. Now, with all that, let's get back into the video. Now, just to be completely transparent, to be clear to all of you guys, especially if this is your first time ever watching me, I don't really own that many ultra high yielding ETFs and definitely don't own that many weekly payers from my portfolio. My portfolio is a mix of different individual stocks, sort of tried and true names, along with dividend growth ETFs like SHD and others. But down towards the bottom of my portfolio holdings, I do own several different names that do either offer weekly frequency payouts and or ultra high yield. Now, even though I would never make those sort of names the bulk of my portfolio, like I said, as of recently, I've been having some pretty good luck with certain names, and I do want to keep adding some of them in small doses. Now, there's a few reasons I decided to add some WPAY to my portfolio, and the first reason is going to be that it does offer weekly distributions. I've been getting paid from several other weekly payers, and honestly, for a while, monthly paying dividend stocks or ETFs seem to be paying me in my portfolio very frequently, but the weekly distributions is definitely something I can get used to. There's really two reasons I personally like weekly distributions. The main reason, number one, is just that getting more cash flow inside your portfolio quicker to then reinvest into more stocks and ETFs is always nice. It sort of feels like you can compound your portfolio even that much faster. But the second reason I really do like weekly distributions is it's just another metric that you can sort of gauge on what an ETF is doing. For example, take SHD, for example, that pays a dividend basically every 90 days, once a quarter. If SHD pays a larger or smaller dividend amount, that's going to at least somewhat change my outlook for the ETF. But again, it takes around 90 days ongoingly to figure out what's going on within the ETF. Where weekly payers, it does feel like you have more of a grasp on what's going on, because if it pays something this week, if it pays something the next week, again, you sort of have an ongoing data set to look at, which I definitely like. Now, to dig a little bit into WPAY, we've talked about in the past, but this ETF's overview, it says the Roundhill Weekly Pay Universe ETF seeks to track the performance of the selective Roundhill Weekly Pay Universe Index. WPAY is designed to invest in an eligible universe of single stock weekly pay ETFs. Now, because this ETF does offer exposure to some very, very high beta ETFs, that in turn offer exposure to some very high beta individual stocks. Take Tesla, Apple, and Palantir, for example, just to name a few. I really thought that this ETF was going to offer a massive distribution rate. I probably would guess over time, maybe 25 to 50%, which is massive. But with the first distribution coming out, at least as I film this video, 52% distribution rate is much, much higher than I even thought. Now, like I said, the first reason I wanted to start buying some WPAY was because of those weekly distributions. The second reason is that even though I do want some exposure to some of these higher beta names, again, take Coinbase, for example, Robinhood, Palantir, etc., I'd much rather have exposure to these high beta names through an ETF that offers a small amount of exposure to all of them. Therefore, if 1, 2, or 3 of them have a bad quarter, a bad week, or a bad year, the rest of the portfolio, the rest of the holdings will hopefully pick up the slack. So the second reason I am planning on adding this ETF to my portfolio is going to be because of that diversification. WPAY offers diversified exposure to the entire suite of Roundhill weekly pay ETFs, which can be good. It can also be bad if there are certain names within the holdings that I don't want exposure to. Well, they're going to be inside of it anyway. Now, WPAY, as of filming this video, cost around $53 per share, and the first distribution was around 55 cents per share. Now, the first distribution might be a little bit larger than the future ones, or maybe smaller. Again, only time will tell. But the crazy thing about ETFs like this one, and of course like others that I've slowly been dabbling in over time, again because names like these don't necessarily match exactly what I'm looking for in my long-term portfolio, but they do in small fashions. The crazy thing about names like these is that it doesn't take all that long, at least in theory. If ETFs like this one were to pay out 52% distribution rate over time, it would not take long whatsoever for your entire initial investment to be paid back. And on top of that, because WPAY's management fee is going to be 0% until September 30th, 2026, there is good reason for this ETF to become a part of my portfolio. Now, some of the bad parts of the risks with WPAY, again, because some of the names within WPAY are going to be classified as riskier investments, again, because of the underlying exposure. WPAY not only could lose value over time, but if it does decay, ETFs like this one might have trouble regaining some lost ground over time. But with ETFs like this one and others, the total return, because of all those distributions, which are probably going to be pretty juicy because of all that volatility, will probably make up for at least some of the lost ground. But again, that's still something to consider. So now that you guys know the new weekly paying ETF that I'm going to add to my portfolio, some of the main reasons why I do feel comfortable adding a small amount of it into my portfolio, I do most importantly want to hear from you guys down below. When it comes to weekly paying ETFs across the entire market, what are some of your top picks as of right now? Drop the ticker symbols in my comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to please drop a like in it, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks as always for stopping by, and if you are interested in investing, make sure to check out these recent videos I posted right here.